Welcome to Jake and Trev Review Everything Live.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Trev.
We lost the cadence there.
A little
It
bit.
was like a
And we weren't
Jake
trying
and Trev
review. It's as if we haven't been doing this for 44 episodes.
What?
My God.
That's a palindrome.
Either way, backwards or forwards.
That's not a prime number.
No. No.
It's divisible by like 2 and like 4.
And 11.
11?
That's a big one. Anyway, we're
22.
You're joining us here. It's week 44, joining the Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons of the review world.
It's up to you guys.
I don't know which one's which.
Yeah.
You can decide.
I'm Paul Stanley.
Oh my God. Okay. Alright. Well, we got a really big show tonight. Hi, as usual, to my mom and his dad, and everyone else with us. You say hi too. That's how it works.
Do it.
You say hi to the people. All right, we're gonna launch right into it. Going some news stories today.
That's just
Get
out of there.
Oh well, you know. Okay, so Star Wars. Star Wars.
We did have a question from Facebook from Jamie.
We're gonna get to that.
We'll probably weave that right.
We're gonna weave it right in here, but so apparently there's a new trailer out for an animated picture, or animated TV series.
Yeah.
Star Wars Rebels.
It looks like it's gonna. I mean, there's a trailer up, and it looks like it's gonna be a lot in the vein of Clone Wars. Yeah,
it's gonna be very Clone Wars.
Same 3D stick people running around.
It's slotted to be on Disney XD. Which
if you look at it sideways, it's just somebody going. It is.
It's true.
Look at it.
Go look at it yourself.
I'm not lying.
And according to some bigwigs surrounding the Star Wars universe right now, Rebels is going to be kind of key to tying the first trilogy, the prequel trilogy, to the original trilogy. Which I don't know. I guess I had some questions about what happened in between there.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that because Disney recently said officially everything that's in the expanded universe, that if it's not in a movie or on this very short list of official stuff like Clone Wars, don't count.
But this is going to count.
It's not real. This counts. So all that nonsense in The Force Unleashed is gone. And you know what? That's a good move. Small sidetrack, Force Unleashed. Jake, did you play it?
No.
You did not play it. Well, it's how old is that game? Like what? Like 8 years old now?
Yeah, the first one was 8 years old, I think.
Somewhere in there.
2 came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I want to say. Probably.
Sure.
About that.
So, but the thing is, what really sucked for that game, about that game for me, was the completely absurd lengths that the Force powers went to.
Was it like getting the gravity gun, like the modified gravity gun in the
end? Well, yes, but imagine that you could use it to pull a starship out of orbit around the planet.
That just sounds awesome to me. I don't know.
It sounds awesome, but how can anybody in the universe wield that sort of level of power and not be basically untouchable?
I don't know. If you saw episode 3, you saw Yoda jumping around the council room throwing the council pods. Because that's what you need in a galactic council is floaty pods. Sitting in my floaty pods, making legislation. Anyway,
the point goes that I thought that the completely absurd levels of force power kind of detracted from the whole experience. It makes Luke Skywalker look like a chump. It makes everybody that we've seen in the movies look like a chump.
Well,
it makes Darth Vader look like a chump.
Let me counter and say Luke Skywalker was supposed to look like a chump.
Okay, fine, but what about everybody else? Yeah, what about all the venerable elders from the prequels? What about even the Emperor never wielded the sort of power to be able to pull a starship from the sky. If he did, they would not have needed the Death Star.
I don't know though, because I feel like he held back a lot. Like he made other people do his work for him.
Okay.
That was part of his power.
Second big problem with that game and the implications of the Star Wars universe. It's that your character, like Galen Starkiller,
which is awesome.
And it's kind of a nice nod to the original
yeah,
Star
that's
Wars
what
script.
Luke was supposed to originally be called Luke Starkiller.
It's cool.
And they thought
But-
it was too badass.
Yeah, it's too tough.
Too tough.
Too tough to last in this market. Okay, but the point is, Vader used him to infiltrate a group of people who were trying to organize a rebellion.
Right.
And basically, so what the game implied and showed was that Vader created a rebellious group in an effort to draw out people who would be interested in joining a rebellion in an attempt to swiftly destroy them.
Right.
So basically, what it does is it makes the entire rebellion Darth Vader's fault because he did that.
I could see that though. That would kind of make sense.
Well,
I mean, obviously, like the Force powers you were saying,
Well, we already concluded conclusively that tying everything in the Star Wars universe back to Darth Vader is stupid.
Yeah. Well, so, yeah, Darth Vader was never supposed to be
The linchpin of the entire
right.
continuity.
He was supposed to be like the guy with the eye patch and the pistol from Hardboiled.
And then
Supposed to be,
sure,
supposed to be the badass right hand man.
right. And so instead, now he's also responsible for there being a rebellion at all. All of the people who might have been a part of it, like the Organas and so forth, they only got involved because they were tricked into being rebels by Darth Vader.
I can see why you would want to retcon that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It really takes a lot of agency away from the people who bravely decided to go against the rebellion. To make the entire rebellion a botched job by the Empire to draw out potential rebels is an extremely questionable story idea to me.
Right.
And I'm glad it's been excised.
Yeah. Well, the trailer for this show, I mean, the show is called Star Wars Rebels. So, it's supposed to be the beginning of the rebellion. At the end of Episode 3, the Empire takes over, everybody's driven back, Order 66 happens, so all the Jedis are conveniently killed, so there are none left, when we start A New Hope. So, that's interesting to me.
I'm just reading through some of our comments. We got a hello from Kira Kennedy. Always good to see him from History
Kira Kennedy last week put out a video
on Friday.
If you haven't seen it yet, it's awesome. It's his top 10 guilty pleasures.
We all have guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
We all have.
Wait, is it 10 or 5?
It's 10.
Okay. I was right then. I watched it, so I should know. But
and in a little bit, we'll discuss some of Jake and I's favorite guilty pleasures, just as a little taste to kind of get that out there.
We may do a list show
at some point.
We did the Halloween episode was basically a list show.
But also I'm reading Miron38. Welcome back. Always good to have you. Writes size matters not, Trev. As Yoda points out, it doesn't matter whether you're picking up this rock Luke or this X-wing. But Yoda's wrong. I cannot believe in a universe where theoretically, if one of the Jedi is concentrated hard enough, they could just bring Star Destroyers out of the sky. Because if that were the case, again, there wouldn't be any need for like a big clandestine rebellion, because you would just get these Jedis out there pulling all these Star Destroyers out of orbit. And I understand the sentiment, and I understand you're just quoting. I'm taking it too seriously, but as you guys know, that's my job. That's Jake and I's job, to take things too seriously.
Yeah. But yeah, there's this trailer.
Top 12? That's right. Oh, jeez. You non-traditional list makers and your numbers more than 10.
But I'm not gonna get totally international phobic or anything, but aren't you guys on the metric system?
It's intense,
bro. It's intense, bro. We're the 12s. You got 12 inches to a foot.
Do you even metric? Anyway.
But no, the trailer was really good. Actually, it surprised me because obviously they have a ragtag team, because that's pretty much what the original Star Wars was a ragtag team.
You gotta have a ragtag team.
You got a princess and a dude from an evaporator farm and a smuggler and some robots and a dog.
The whole gang.
You got the whole gang, but in this trailer we have a Mandalorian chick, which is interesting. Yeah. I've never seen a lady Mandalorian. Which, if you're not familiar, the Mandalorians were a race of people that were humanoid, and they weren't like blue or anything. They just looked like people.
Mhm.
They're actually the basis. The Mandalorian Django.
Unchained.
No. Jango Fett.
Jango Fett.
He was the basis for all the clones in the Clone Wars. His son was Boba Fett, arguably the most famous Mandalorian.
Easily.
They all have very similar armor, and that's how you can tell they're from Mandalore, or from a Mandalorian, whatever. But yeah,
and there's a lot more information about the Mandalorians, but it's been cast out. It's gone.
It's not
a thing anymore.
It's not in episodes 1 through 7, 6.
It's just Django Unchained and his son.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the interesting thing. They had a character that was he seemed like the rogue character, but then he whips out a lightsaber. He's like, I'm a fucking Jedi, and that was cool. And I like that. He's apparently the story is that when Order 66 was executed, he made it out alive. So they're basically this ragtag group of people is spurring the rebellion on. They're assumedly going to be the first batch in the galaxy of rebels, basically. Right. So that should be,
cell, if you will.
It's a neat origin story. They're going into unmarked territory. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy to make episode 7, but you have a lot of shit to draw off of, you know? There's such a big blank space between 3 and 4, and you can, we've quoted it before. Red Letter Media did probably the best dissertation of episodes 1 through 3.
Easily.
3 being, one of the more interesting ones, because that is the movie that's supposed to bring us to 4, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It ends, and there's a big 20-year gap between 3 and 4, so what happened there? Who is doing what? I mean, we know that... Did it
really take them 20 years to build the Death Star, and then it really only took them 3 years to build even larger Death Star? I don't understand how that worked.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Maybe it took 17 years for them to think it up. What's a really cool...
Well, I suppose the second time around they already had the basic idea.
I assume 16 years was on the name, 1 year was on the designs, and 3 years to build it. That's my guesstimate for the Death Star. Could we call it the Planet Smasher?
No, that's a different thing.
Can we call it the Orb of Doom?
The Sun Gun?
The Sun Gun? I like it. Wait, no.
No, that's dumb. Okay. But and on that note, I kind of like it. This whole premise of other Jedi's escape, because of course other Jedi's.
Yeah, they were sitting around like, huh? What?
You're telling me that there was a squad of stormtroopers around every living Jedi, and only the ones that actually managed to best their troop of stormtroopers?
Yeah, Obi-Wan was doing fucking backflips on fucking giant lizard mounts on a planet that was built in the side of a mountain. I assume there was no stormtrooper that was like, fuck that, I'm not shooting him up there. Whatever.
Oh boy. So yeah, that's coming up. And that's actually the only existing Star Wars news that there is, because anything you've heard about the movie isn't really news.
Yeah. Also, I would like to point out, and we got a few people on here, if any of you using Twitter, this is kind of my personal crusade. I hope to sway Trevor, and he seems interested. There is a movie, we talked about this last week. It was announced. It's called Monster Trucks. It's coming out in 2015. It stars Jane Levy and Rob Lowe and a bunch of other famous people.
Barry Pepper, Danny Glover, Frank Whaley.
Yeah, all sorts of people. That's it. That's all we know. We know that there are people involved. It's an animation.
See,
and it's called Monster Trucks.
Well, and that's what's confusing. Not to try to purposely tie this back to Star Wars or anything, but okay, so J.J. Abrams is taking his traditional mystery box approach, where it's I think it's better for audiences to come in not knowing what they're getting into.
Which is, you are talking about the most talked about series in the history of movies.
Impossible.
You're not going to get away with it.
But I can see why you would do that with Star Wars. There's a huge legacy. There's lots of fans to disappoint. But nobody knows anything about monster trucks. And it's why would you make it a secret?
They need to take a page out of Monster Trucks handbook.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they went way too far when they were like, these are the people that are in the movie. That's a step too far. Monster Truck says no. Well, actually, no, they did say what people are in the movie. But, yeah, see, they went too far by saying that Star Wars Rebels is going to tie in somehow.
Jake, I think that we've set off an unfortunate trend.
Pretty soon we'll have nothing to talk about because everyone will be like, "Oh, I'm making this movie,"
and I don't want to tell anyone anything about it. And it could be really super great, so you better check it out just in case it is.
We made a trailer, but we're only showing it at the end of the movie when it premieres. That's how secret it is.
Super secret, you guys.
You have to build a goddamn time machine to find out about this movie.
It's so secret.
But seriously though, Monster Trucks, it's an animated movie. That's it. I want to make this into the next Snakes on a Plane. Snakes on a Plane sounds pretty cool.
You mean you want to build up the hype around it?
I want to build up the hype so bad because that's what they want. But I want it to hit them in the face.
Like Snakes on a Plane?
Yeah.
When it basically came out and then everyone was like, "Oh wait, I didn't really want this. I only thought I wanted this."
I was just being ironic. I'm so sorry. I'm so
sorry. I just like the shot of Samuel L. Jackson saying "motherfucking snakes on a motherfucking plane." And after that, all the appeal was gone, baby. It's all wasted.
Yeah. So do that to Monster Trucks.
Let's all make this so big that it couldn't possibly deliver.
All right. So we started a hashtag on Twitter. It's hashtag Monster Trucks Movie. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Hashtag Monster Trucks Movie. That's one word. You know how hashtags work.
You get it.
Get on there and talk about.
You guys are smart.
Get on Twitter and talk about how excited you are. I'm so excited I just shit myself twice.
Wow.
Hashtag Monster Trucks
Movie. That's exciting. Okay. So we're gonna...
I'm so excited I'm not gonna watch anything until Monster Trucks come out.
Right, we're gonna try to get all
Hashtag Monster Trucks Movie. Fucking do it! Oh god! That would be greght. I would love it. I would love it so much if you guys, even just a couple. Let's show them what for.
And we're going to go take our questions now. The first one has nothing to do with Star Wars, and it says, "What does the fox say?"
Ring ding 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 bang down.
Well, no, see, I think it's a moving it on bum dead. That's that in the video. The fox. The
actual fox.
The actual fox says that. Or if you actually go and find a video of a fox making noise,
it's like.
Awful. Why would you want a fox?
What does the fox say?
Terrible.
That's awful.
And that's from Brian Menard. Second question from Jamie Ganzel, who's with us in the chat. Say hello to her if you're with us. She says, how do you guys feel about the original cast coming back for a new Star Wars?
See, that's a mixed bag. At first I thought it was, and I'll be honest, I thought it was kind of like, we've been over it. But we haven't really actually talked about it. I think people were expecting it because all the original cast is alive. Right. I mean, I don't think we're getting Lando. I heard we're not getting Lando.
Really?
I heard he's not.
God, that guy has just been dicked.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, no, that sucks.
Billy D. Williams has just been getting dicked over forever.
Billy D. Williams should be in the next Star Wars. Hashtag Monster Trucks Movie.
Everything can't be about monster trucks, Jake.
But it will be.
Oh, my God.
No, yeah, that's the thing. Everyone kind of assumes that they were going to come back. They kind of have to. I mean... it's the same problem we were talking about with the gaps between 3 and 4. Right. I mean, you get Yoda, but he's a Muppet. You get Chewbacca, but he's a man in a Muppet costume. And even those connections are tenuous at best. You don't have a segue between 3 and 4, which is probably one of the most disappointing parts of 3. Mm-hmm. Was that's what you were signed up for when you watched Episode 1, was how does this go from a little kid hanging out on Tatooine to a robot kid in a black stormtrooper outfit, being a dick. That's the only reason that anybody signed on to those movies, and they didn't even pay that off. So, to go from 6 to 7, there's gonna be time pass because
probably another 20-year gap.
Or else,
at least.
Right. Or else, if they start early, then you're going to get all that shitty CGI like we did in Tron Legacy. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't that shitty, but it was still off-putting. Sure. They didn't make it over the uncanny valley.
No, I mean, it's going to be like 20 years later, and as we know in the Star Wars universe, 20 years is all it takes to age to an old man. Ewan McGregor turned into Alec Guinness
that was
in about
all,
20 years.
That was all Obi-Wan Caboose, I think. He was drinking himself dry in the desert there.
It takes a toll between alcohol damage to the liver and sun damage to the skin. He's only 40 years old.
Do you think the Force can sober you up?
I think the Force can do anything, Jake.
So if you got really
Even
drunk,
pull Star Destroyers out of the sky, apparently.
So if you got really drunk, you could pull like a cargo ship out of the sky that had a bunch of booze, and then drink it all, and then be like, Force, make sure I don't get alcohol poisoning, but don't go so far as to not give me a buzz, because that's why I just pulled this cargo ship out of fucking space.
Right.
Obviously. So I can get ripped.
But I guess how do I feel about it? I would say there's not much satisfaction here. These aren't our point of view characters. These are going to be kind of like we're going to have a passing of the torch. What it's going to be.
It's going to be the reverse of the character connections between 3 and 4.
It's going to be kind of like Obi-Wan from episode 3 to episode 4. We're going to see Luke now, being the master of the Jedi Order, most likely. Maybe in the interim, Leia may have been training with some Jedi stuff. That would be pretty cool. But the point is that they're all. I mean, I hate to say it, guys, but they're old.
They're old.
They're all so old. They're not going to be action leads in this movie. We're going to see some throwing down. I mean, if we can get Christopher Lee, who is an old man. How old is he? He's
a million years old, and he loves death metal.
And he loves death metal and Token and Dracula and spy stuff against the Nazis in World War II. And he's the best. He's just the best. But if they could get him and they could do some choreography with him, surely Mark Hamill can learn some swords moves and give us some satisfying combat.
He was in the Guyver.
He was in the Guyver. I'm sorry. No, and this would be interesting too, because with the advances in Hollywood stage fighting, like the massive sophistication jump in the sword fights in the original trilogy to the prequel trilogy, we might actually get to see like Luke Skywalker doing some Super Jedi moves for the first time.
Yeah.
So it's mostly positive, I'd say, but I just don't. I mean, like I said,
don't
get your hopes up.
They're going to be tertiary characters,
right? Don't get your hopes up for them going out on another adventure, because if they do, it's going to be their last adventure.
I have a feeling it's going to be like the Goonies.
In that the rebel base on Yavin is going to be up for foreclosure, so they can put in a golf course,
and all the kids of the people from the original trilogy are going to go on an adventure.
And Bank President Tarkin is going to show up with the papers to foreclose on the Yavin base. And then so all the rebel kids are going to look for... I can't even take this any farther. I'm done.
Thank you, Yoda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
See,
one-eyed Yoda.
Yoda hid all the space treasure in that creepy-ass tree on Dagobah. And an organ made out of bones.
Yoda Copper Pots.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, so I'm sure you were actually going to get somewhere with it's just like Goonies, or was that just like a random toss? I'd like to know if it is in fact in any way, shape, or form like Goonies.
Wait, well, hold on. I will make this prediction. I will say that one of the kids will be instructed to do one thing and do another thing, and whether they turn bad or save a bunch of people, strictly against the orders of their, original trilogy parents. Mm-hmm. That's one of my calls. But yeah, I feel like there's probably going to be a fair amount of plot. You can't ignore that there was all that fucking council meeting shit in the episodes 1 through 3. So
John Jake Silvis writes, bring on a cameo from Jar Binks. He'll probably be in the background somewhere.
Probably getting kicked in the face by a bantha.
Or like frozen in carbonite, like somewhere.
That would be cool.
Here's
the other thing. Creators and directors do a lot of just like you or I, they make nods and pokes and things like that. Like
they're perfectly aware that you guys don't like Jar Jar. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't like Jar Jar either.
Absolutely.
They're perfectly aware. So I mean, they're not going to do anything to kind of tempt any fanboy rage here. I
think it'll be funny though. Well, for instance, in The Shining, Stanley Kubrick actually kind of hated Stephen King and his books.
Right.
And in the book, like, they had a red beetle, and in the movie, I think they have like a blue or a yellow beetle. And later on in the movie, for no reason whatsoever, they show a car crash on the road.
Yeah, they're driving by a car crash, and there's like a red beetle like smashed underneath.
And it's basically Stanley Kubrick like, "Fuck you, Stephen King.
I fucking destroyed your vehicle. This is my vehicle now."
Yeah. So assumedly, there's going to be some sort of nod to how this is not George Lucas's Star Wars anymore. There kind of has to be. I mean, I can't imagine, being in the theater not having everybody stand up and fucking applaud if Jar Jar Binks was frozen in carbonite in the background.
Joel Massey writes, do you think that they will be on film for over 10 minutes? Yes.
10 minutes total? No.
Really?
No.
You don't think they'll be on for more than a total of 10 minutes of screen time?
I think that they'll be there for important scenes and stuff. I don't think they're.
We're gonna get a.
Because nobody's gonna pay Mark Hamill more than scale in this movie because everyone in Hollywood hates Mark Hamill, and I love Mark Hamill.
What are you talking about? Who hates Mark Hamill?
That poor guy.
Warner Brothers likes him.
They hate him.
Who does?
Everybody.
I've never heard this before.
I don't know. And he's such a nice guy, too.
I gotta tell you.
I'm just starting the rumor right now.
I was gonna say, what? No,
I love Mark Hamill.
The last thing I remember hearing about Mark Hamill that wasn't absolutely directly involved with Star Wars was my 2013 saddest thing I ever read that year. When he was picking cigarette butts out of like a little stand thing outside of some like recording studio, and then he took him to his car and he smoked him in his car, and paparazzi did pictures of it the whole time, and it's like, oh my god, Mark, just
somebody buy this man a pack of cigarettes.
Luke fucking Skywalker, you buy him some smokes.
Yeah.
Don't make this man smoke butts. It's not right.
The only way I can see that as not sad is maybe he was trying to quit and he didn't want anybody to know he was smoking cigarettes, so he's picking out butts. That's probably not true. That's so sad. Yeah. Plus, it was probably in LA and everybody's like, smokers are the worst.
Los
Angeles. You have cigarettes, Mark Hamill. You're so gross.
Okay.
I mean, cigarettes are gross. Don't smoke cigarettes, kids.
Okay. And tonight's installment of J&TRE Watch with you, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to search for...
This is the interactive section of the program.
Yeah, you're going to want to search for the official extended trailer Gotham Fox Broadcasting. Probably just official extended trailer Gotham will work. It's a 2-minute and 6-second video.
Yeah, that's all.
So pull that up in another tab.
We'll keep talking about something else. We'll go back to it. Go to YouTube. Type in Gotham Fox.
Gotham extended trailer official, however, something like that. You'll pull it up.
Yeah,
you got it.
Just we'll
tell you what. I'm just gonna take the link. I'm just gonna do it. I'm going to take the link, I'm going to put it in the social stream, except I'm not going to put it on Twitter or Facebook, because that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
So,
S&D, Twitter and Facebook, but for serious, though, hashtag Monster Trucks movie.
Joe Massey, we're sorry you're having trouble. I might suggest Chrome or possibly Firefox, because Internet Explorer sucks dick. Sick burn.
No, it's true. Internet Explorer.
Yeah. Michael Swanson says, phrasing tread. Don't let this guy smoke butts.
Don't let him smoke butts,
Don't let him smoke butts, you guys.
Oh,
friends don't let friends smoke butts. Okay. And
so you pull up the trailer. We sent you the link. Pull up the trailer. Oh no!
Oh no! Well. Okay.
Hopefully, it wasn't anything
super important. Yeah.
We'll end Star Wars on this note, and
we're gonna try our best not to take up the other half of the show
talking about Star Wars. But Disney is planning at least 3 Star Wars spin-offs, and these are not the 7, 8, and 9. These are
in-betweeners. Now, from what I'd heard there was going to be a Boba Fett one. Big mistake. It's not going to deliver what you think it's going to. And Yoda, bigger mistake, because you don't actually want to know where Yoda came from.
You don't.
You don't! Guys!
Origin stories ruin the mystery. He's 500 years old. You want to see Frodo? You want to see Yoda in the fucking Shire?
No. Growing up, you want to see like a young, hot-headed Yoda, and he's like taught by some older Yoda. Then he's got a fucking
power converter. Somebody was going.
That actually reminds me of a pretty funny webcomic that it was like a Yoda training as a child to do lightsaber stuff, and he accidentally screws himself in the head, and beforehand he's speaking normally, and then after he's like, fried speech center of brain, I think I may have, or something, like that.
But yeah, they're planning 3 spin-offs, and we can segue that into the article before this, because here's the deal. Well, kinda. Here's the deal. The movie market is oversaturating itself. It's gonna happen. That's not the article I was talking about. No, I meant Fredge. We had to pull up movie box office. Box office mojo. Yeah. Nope. One more. There it is. All right. No. See, here's the problem. When you have... Okay. Pretend the movie industry is a delicious-ass pie.
Okay? I like pie.
I like pie, too. Well, here's the thing. What if Trevor wants cherry pie, and I want, I don't know, fruit of the forest pie? I love fruit of the forest pie. That's just part of the example. You ever had that, fruit of the forest?
Fruit of the forest?
It's delicious. It's got, like, rhubarb and blackberries and shit.
Oh, so... There's a special name for a pie where you just go out in the woods and pick all the delicious things and put it in your pie?
I guess.
Fruit of the forest. I'm
it's
down.
Delicious, but...
Hold on. Can I change my answer? I don't want cherry anymore.
Okay.
I want fruit of the forest also.
All right. But then I have to change my answer. Thanks for taking that away from me. We want 2 different kinds of pie.
Is the point.
So you cut it down the middle, and we both get half of the fucking pie. But, eventually, you're going to have to, like, if we want a bunch of different flavors, then there's going to be less of the pie. And here's the problem. Spider-Man 2 just opened.
Mm-hmm. The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And worldwide, it's made $277 million.
That seems like a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cheddar.
But they probably, and I don't think they have... Hold on. I want to see if they have how much they paid to make it. Do they have that on there? They usually do.
The budget?
Yeah.
Probably not. No, they're not releasing a lot of these for the more recent movies. That's for sure.
I think they wait a while. Anyways, so for instance, The Lone Ranger was made for like $250 million.
Mm-hmm.
Made barely any of that back.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about making 6 Star Wars movies. I think there are also 6 Marvel movies lined up.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like 4 or 5 Justice League movies lined up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
all of these movies are going to be competing with each other for this slice of the pie, and all those movies are probably going to have as big of a budget, probably around $150 to $200 million, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
And Spider-Man 2 opened for $277 million. And, obviously merchandising and all that stuff. So, there's only so much money that anybody has in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And when you oversaturate like this, then people are going to get choosy about what they see, about what action figures they buy. Because if, Spider-Man came out, Spider-Man's got action figures, but what if I want a Hulk action figure? Then I'm not going to buy that Spider-Man action figure. It's just crazy. This is insane.
It's madness.
There are too many fucking movies, and that's not including non-franchise nerd movies.
Could you like imagine a world where we'd be sitting here lamenting the fact that we're getting a bunch of Star Wars and a bunch of DC and a bunch of Marvel and so forth? We're not unsusceptible to this, you guys. We also, think we know what we want and are sometimes wrong.
Yeah, and sometimes we think that a thing's going to be shit, and it's really good.
Right.
But there's going to be a glut of movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to make as much money because there's going to be too many fucking movies, and you can't see all of the movies. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, superhero movies don't make money anymore. And then they're going to stop making superhero movies. They are inflating the balloon, and it's going to pop.
And whose fault is that going to be?
It's their fucking fault.
It's true.
You're trying to get money from people that doesn't exist. Slow your asses down. Make some quality movies like Avengers.
Drop in some more stuff on TV.
And to segue that into this, speaking of spin-offs,
putting things on TV.
We're gonna watch this trailer for
Okay,
Gotham.
So open it up in your other tab.
Pull up your trailer in the other browser.
Okay, get ready, and we're gonna hit play right now.
Going down. Sometimes I think this place is cursed. I won't let it fall apart without a fight.
Okay, looks like any other cop drama on Fox.
We will not.
Hey! It's Donald Logue! I love Donald Logue!
He's that guy on TV.
Not on my watch.
Who's that other guy?
There's a war coming. A terrible war.
Is that Matthew Fox Light?
There will be chaos.
I've seen that guy in
The
something.
streets, I know it.
One detective. It's not Batman. Spoiler alert, it's not Batman.
A little danger in your eye. I wonder what you plan to do with that.
You killed people before. That was war. This is war. We're at war.
Spoiler alert, it was Joe Chill. I saved you guys like an entire season of disappointment.
I promise you. I will find the man who did this. Fear doesn't mean conquer. Fear tells you where the edge is.
Somebody has to take over. It might as well be me.
Gossip is on a knife edge. This is not a city for nice guys.
Bad things are gonna start happening. There's a lot of foreshadowing going on here.
However dark and scary the world might be right now, there will be light. There will be light. Bullshit.
Bullshit. Before anything cool. It's too far back. You turned we packed too much time.
It's good to know that this is apparently happening in the Christopher Nolan universe because wow. No, it's not. It's not, of course. Gosh.
It's too, and this goes back to the whole fate thing. It's too. Oh God, I look like Tina Turner.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I need a haircut. No, fucking, that's too far back. Okay? Then you're tying everything together in a neat little bow, and it's like, no, it got tied together when Batman became Batman. And then a bunch of crazy people came out of the woodworks. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, Batman was a product of his environment. It's like he was, but not because everybody was crazy and in costumes. He was the first crazy and in costume guy.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of fell in after that.
Right. It's his fault. Not their fault.
Yeah, that's kind of that's an interesting part of the Batman dichotomy, is that did the city go crazy because there was a dude dressed up as a bat beating the shit out of people?
Well, no, definitively not now, because it was always going to happen.
Always going to happen anyways. Before the Riddler, before Poison Ivy.
Before the Penguin. He was just a regular guy before he was
I can't wait.
Aristocrat with a fucking umbrella.
I can't wait until before
Good
that.
God.
They're going to do a prequel to Gotham. And that's going to be like when Jim Gordon was a kid. And then they're going to have like fucking Vandal Savage teaching him how to be a cop. And it's going to be great.
Because man, obviously that's the question that's not answered in this show. Like, where did Jim Gordon come from? Like, what was he like as a kid? So you can't just keep going back and asking, well,
what about this? Oh, no, who cares? I don't care.
Child.
Oh, well, Vandal Savage and Solomon Grundy. Who else is super old?
And also now, apparently, everybody's
Ra's al Ghul.
All of Batman's foes are like 10 years older than him. At least.
Like, I get Catwoman's a little kid, because that makes sense. But then, so Poison Ivy's like 20 years older than him. Like, everybody's...
The
They
Riddler.
were all around, like, with the exception of a couple characters, they were all kind of, at least in the ballpark of the same age.
Right.
Kind of from the same generation, if you will. I mean, come on.
Hey, and you want to know the real trick is that, again, almost everything is given away, because you know what? Riddler's not going anywhere. Edward Nygma's not going anywhere. Oswald Cobblepot's not going anywhere.
Not Chester Cobblepot, Oswald Cobblepot.
Chester Copper Pot.
Copperpot and Cobblepot.
They're not related. But yeah, gosh, you guys.
We got some comments. I think this was before the trailer. Oh yeah, Kool-Aid guy.
Child villains. No, it's a big mistake. And in fact, Jake and I have been talking about it. We would really like to start up a TV series, Deathpool.
Yeah. We want to start a Deadpool, not just because it's called a Deadpool.
Not just because.
Not just because. See, I like it. You caught that. Not just because it's called the Deadpool, but because that's what it is. If you're not familiar, a Deadpool is when you bet on whether someone's going to die or not.
Mm-hmm.
And our Deadpool has to do with the franchises we were talking about. And I think we want to start. I don't know how we would even format that. It would be interesting though. We could start it. If you guys are interested, we'll do it. If you guys will throw down and take, not actual bets, but like I bet that it'll happen here. You don't have to bet
on your honor.
Yeah, bet on your honor that you think that the Avengers is going to end after the first movie after the Avengers 2, or that Star Wars, like their spin-offs, are going to end after the second one, and then they're
I'm going to put this. I'm going to post this on the Deadpool right now. Gotham. Here's what's going to happen, guys. Are you ready?
One season.
No. See, at first I was thinking it'll make it like we're going to have like a Firefly situation on our hands, because it's Fox, guys.
It's Fox.
It's Fox.
Put that into your bargaining.
Run that through your calculator. But so you could have had a Firefly sort of situation where it doesn't actually get through the full first season, because of that. But what I'm betting on is that people will tune in curious, right?
Yeah.
They'll be curious as little cats, and I don't know where that was from. No, they're gonna be curious. They're gonna want to check it out. There's gonna be a lot of hype behind it. But by the end of season 1, you're gonna get a lot of people like suddenly scratching their heads and stroking their chins, and then be like, "Well, hey, where's Batman? When's Batman gonna show up?"
He's not. He's a little kid.
He's never ever gonna show up. And what we're gonna have instead of a Firefly situation, we're gonna have a little kind of a Twin Peaks situation.
Yeah.
There's not enough fuel here to carry this past like a season and a half. It's gonna peter out in season 2, and it's just gonna totally get canceled by the end of season 2. You watch. You watch. That's my prediction. That's my Deadpool prediction on Gotham.
Can I run
Thank you,
down? Can I run down the list of problems that the show is already facing
What's that?
in the future? These are future problems. Future problem number 1 is something we've seen with Smallville. Clark Kent has to turn into Superman at some point. Obviously, Clark Kent was in high school, so they can kind of drag it out a little bit, but not too much. Like it still took him like 2 years out of high school until he actually donned the cape. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? So they can prolong Bruce Wayne becoming Batman. In fact, they could even do a time jump between seasons where like it's very similar to episodes 1 through 3, where you have like Bruce Wayne as a kid, then Bruce Wayne as a teenager, then in his 20s. Because obviously, all stories are different. I mean, Batman, pretty much any major comic book character has gone through a number of origins. Spider-Man at one point started in high school, then he started in college.
Sure.
It's always different. But yeah, assumedly he would have to be in his mid, early to mid 20s to start his Batmaning. So you can't push that back for too long. The other problem is Fox has a really bad problem with wanting drama shows, but then when they get them, they don't want them anymore. We talked last week how much it sucks that Almost Human got canceled. I really liked that show. It was a thoughtful sci-fi show. There were a lot of plot holes in some episodes, but they at least they tried. I don't see any other show trying sci-fi, real science fiction where you're talking about things that could happen in the future, and it asked a lot of hard questions, and maybe they didn't answer them right, or maybe they didn't ask the question right, but at least they were trying. And apparently people were like, oh, whatever. And I have a feeling this show is going to be the same. People are going to get bored. You keep stringing people on. Same with Shield. I think part of Shield's problem right now for me is that basically Captain America 2 fucked their shit entirely, and they
dicked them over pretty good. Actually,
they're running on fumes because there's not a lot left in that show to really give a shit about. They've tied up most of their plot ends. And they made new ones, but the new ones were kind of like, eh.
Well, all the new ones are kind of just tied together. It's all Hydra.
Yeah.
It's all Hydra. Hydra's behind it all.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Everything. Part and parcel.
It's dumb. So, I have a feeling, Gotham is going to get so far it's going to get high on its own drama and so far up its own butt that people are just going to be like, it's either going to be like Lost, where there's too many,
Well, there's clearly too many.
Well, even in the trailer, there's too many. But there's going to be too many things, too many characters, too many plot things going on, and people are going to be like, "Where's Batman?" Like you said, and it's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
And if we get little kid Batman, then fuck that show. Fuck it so hard. That's dumb. That's straight up stupid.
Okay, apparently.
Oh yeah, we pulled up this list. It is from Benjamin Moore. He is I think a statistician
And a blogger, and he's got a blog up here on Benomics, on benjaminlmoore.wordpress.com, and he's got this. It's this graph, and a lot of information here about movies and how they were rated by the audience versus how they were rated by critics,
right?
And then uses that to figure out what the most underrated.
This isn't all the movies. This is about 1,200 movies,
right? And
1,200 popular movies.
And it's like it's of course, it's one of the most overrated and underrated by the disparity between what the critics and the audience felt.
Yeah, you have a graph on the X side. It's from 0 to 100, the audience score, and then on the Y side, it's 0 to 100 critic score. So if it falls way down, near the 100 for the critic score, but low on the audience score, then it is a underrated movie. If it falls to where it's very high on the critic score, but low on the audience score, then it's an overrated movie. So that's what we're looking at right now. I think they have like a top 20 underrated and overrated. You should check out his WordPress to look at this article. But
some of the highlights include the most underrated film is apparently Facing the Giants.
Never heard of it.
Critics gave it a 13 aggregate score.
Audience gave it an 86.
So a difference of 73. It's a big difference. Followed by Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Grandma's Boy, Step Up, Because I Said So, and Empire Records, actually, kind of interestingly.
Yeah, there's a lot of fan favorites like
Dan Wilder,
Bad Boys 2, Super Troopers. They're all on this list. And then we have the most overrated films, the number one being Robert Rodriguez's Spy Kids.
Yep, critics gave it a 93, and the audience only gave it a 45. So pretty big disparity there.
The thing I find the most interesting is that the differences between the most overrated film and the most underrated film, because the difference, Facing the Giants, again, no fucking idea what movie that is. The difference is 73 points.
Mm-hmm.
But the most overrated film, there was only a difference of 48 points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it kind of trends like that. You have for the top 15 here for most overrated.
Can I tell you that I think something was very funny here?
What's that?
In the most underrated films, there's an underrated movie, Grandma's Boy.
Yeah.
And in,
yeah.
in the most overrated films, one of the most overrated film is Mama's Man.
So see Grandma's Boy, don't see Mama's Man. I've never heard of that, but
get your family relationships correctly.
Yeah, don't let your grandma buy you Mama's Man. What is that movie that you wanted to see?
Be a grandma's boy. Don't watch Mama's Man.
I got you all these castle. What was it?
I got you this DVD. You said you liked the transforming robots, so I got you this Transmorphers.
Oh,
Oh
no, Grandma.
No!
That's not the same.
I got you Atlantic Rim. That's the movie you wanted to see, right?
Atlantic Rim? There's not even a rim. Get out of here.
Inaccurate.
Get out of here with that shit, Grandma.
But yeah, also Spy Kids 2 was on the list. So
the
Spy
critics,
Kids and the
critics
sequel.
just love Spy Kids.
Oh my god, it's the best.
And their sequels. Audience, not so much.
Not so much. So yeah, it's an interesting list. Check that out. Get out of there. All right, going on the glut of movies again. We're talking specifically about like superhero nerd movies. You got Star Wars, Avengers, Justice League, and then we have reboots, and this isn't new.
Sequels, and remakes.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like reboots are a new thing because they've never been a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Movies have been rebooted since movies started being movies. I mean, that's just nature, but it's kind of the bulk of the movies that we have now, and that might not even be a new trend. We're getting a Beverly Hills Cop sequel.
Beverly Hills Cop 4, apparently titled merely Beverly Hills Cop.
Which is another terrible trend. I hate that.
Well, see, it almost sort of worked.
I hate everything tonight, Trev. This is the worst.
Okay. Like, here's the thing. It sort of made sense, or it was sort of okay with, like, the Rocky movies, and because, like, it went Rocky, and then the last movie was Rocky Balboa.
At least they threw the Balboa in there, but they could have just called it Rocky 6.
Sure, well...
Or like, Rocky 5 for real this time.
Rocky 5 for real this time. No, so yeah, Eddie Murphy going back to the tried and true Beverly Hills Cop formula. This has been talked about a few years back. Apparently, there were some talks about it going to be in another of the Passing the Torch movies. Have Axel Foley's kid like be a detective, and that would have been, frankly, that would have been awful. But I'm not sure if just him coming back for another Beverly Hills Cop installment is any better.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover?
Donald Glover. No, Donald Glover. Childish Gambino?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
That would be awesome!
Okay.
Son of Axel Foley?
If Donald Glover, he's got the worst name.
That sucks.
He talks about it himself in one of his stand-up bits, I know.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. So if you say it, if you shorten his first name and you say it fast, it sounds like Don Glover. Don Glover.
Yeah.
Don Glover.
That's why he goes by Donald Glover. So.
Right. But yeah, no. If he was,
or Mr. Glover, if you're nasty.
No, if you're, no, that would have been awesome, and I'd be completely 1,000% on board.
That would be funny, especially if he was writing it. But yeah,
but he's not.
Spring 2016, we get to see an old, washed-up Eddie Murphy reprise one of his roles when he was good. Let's see how that turns out.
Oh yeah, let's see if he can approach this role that he approached when he was still young and hungry and funny. And full of coke. Thank you. I was
sorry.
Going to save that for last. No, I hate to be the guy who sits here and argues that the use of narcotics enhances an artist's...
the 80s were a different time, man.
Hey, man, fucking, back when they were all jacked up on whatever
70s
fucking
and 80s.
coke and speedballs and whatever else, they were making some gangbuster comedies, man. They were fucking being funny. According to a recent Cracked article I read, as a matter of fact, the sets of Animal House and National Lampoon's Caddyshack were both. Wait a minute, I think I got that backwards. I don't think National Lampoon had a hand in Caddyshack. Animal House, I know they did. So anyway, Animal House.
It was National Lampoon's Animal House.
And Caddyshack.
Wait.
Both of those movies, though, were big fucking parties behind the scenes, and a lot of it was kind of written as they went along in some cases, and they were all drugged up, and that's a great thing. You heard it here first. Trevor endorses narcotics, everybody.
Back in the day, I mean,
In the day. No! See, this is why I'll never be a politician, because at some point somebody on Fox News, they're going to take that little snippet. I'm going to be like, where did you even find that? Nobody watched the show while I was doing it. Now you guys fucking found. Well,
yeah.
there goes my senatorial campaign. Thanks, Jake.
Faloosh. Oh, man. All right, let's jump to the chat here. Joel Massey says, use Bitcoin for the Deadpool. Yeah, let's do that. What is it, like $100 to a coin now?
Dude, a Bitcoin is ridiculous. It's really expensive.
Inflated.
Look it up. Look, we're gonna take a moment to look it up when we're talking about this.
God, here,
What is the
type in Bitcoin
value of a Bitcoin?
Bitcoin conversion? What is the exchange rate? Preve.com. It is $440. Good lord!
Did it just go up a 0.1 while we were sitting here?
I think it's because I shouted about it. I just increased Bitcoin by
shouting
0.1.
about it. Somebody
By 10 cents. All right, roll down there. Let's see. Joel Massey says, no, Rocky Balboa is a concluding title. It's true. I mean, it was the bookend of the series, but I don't have. You could call it Rocky 6, the last Rocky movie, or something.
The Rockying. Okay, we're gonna try.
Go back to the chat here.
Okay.
I didn't get to read the rest of that. Scroll down here. Hey, Janelle, who made it? Hey, scroll up. Yeah. Let's see. Scroll down. All right. Good God, no more origin stories. I want to see a good superhero show without origins, says my dad.
Yes.
That is true.
That is true.
We have the same blood.
And Michael Swanson says, if everyone hates it, it being Gotham, it will go on for about 5 seasons. That's
it's
true.
Fox.
Yeah. Because they just they don't know what to do with anything.
And Deathlock, and Alien vs. Hunter.
Alien vs. Hunter. Because that was the Asylum Alien vs. Predator?
Yeah.
Because nobody can copyright,
Hunter
or
Alien,
apparently.
But Predator, oddly enough.
So my mom writes, since good comedians, i.e. Chevy Chase, are past their prime, what young actors could do a Caddyshack?
Can I make a quick aside?
That's an interesting question. Who could redo Caddyshack? Not that I think they necessarily should. I'd like to see. Let me say that first off. I'd like to see something made maybe in the spirit of Caddyshack, like some young slacker thing, but done to really good comedy standards.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be no fart fest. You know what I mean?
But I was watching Fletch today, and I was like, "What happened, Chevy?" Like I've seen people that still like Bill Murray. Mm-hmm. Like Bill Murray's graying, but he looks like Bill Murray still. Mm-hmm. Chevy Chase looks like somebody held a blow dryer to his face for like 10 years.
God.
Just.
Oh.
And he's old and grumpy, and he hates everyone. So. Or Dan Harmon hates. They just have a hate relationship. All I hear from Chevy Chase is that he's a dick. So, which makes me sad. That makes me sad. I like Chevy Chase. I don't want him to be a dick. But a Caddyshack. I don't know, maybe 6 years ago you could have made Caddyshack. You could have got, like, most of the Apatow crew. Mm-hmm. You could get, like, Ryan Reynolds and, maybe Dane Cook. I'm not saying it would be great, but you're talking about, like, casting the movie. I would say I would go in a different direction with, what's his name? Dr. Vinny Boom Bots.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield. I would do Lewis Black for that character and go in the entire opposite direction. Instead of being like a jovial like jackass that's making fun of everybody, he could just be entirely pissed about everyone at this rich ass golf course, Mm-hmm. His golf club.
Sure. Not to kind of take some cues here, but I think you could have maybe taken some of the recent SNL cast. Yeah. Bill Hader. Bill Hader comes to mind as a talented guy. Jason Sudeikis, possibly. Andy Samberg. I think any of those could have.
Donald Glover, because he's still on Donald. I love Donald Glover!
Look, I love Donald Glover too, Jake.
I want to cast him in everything.
He wants to.
I wanted him to be Spider-Man.
Of course you did.
There was a campaign on Twitter to have Donald Glover be Spider-Man, and that
Jake,
was awesome.
Look, Donald Glover cannot possibly be Spider-Man.
Why is that?
He's too young. He's
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
have the right. He doesn't have the right stage
All right. Yeah,
behind.
okay.
See what I did there? That
See,
was
that
that
was
was.
That was good. That was
See, I
good.
made you think that was because he's black, which is not a problem for me. So.
Yeah, I don't problem with that. Actually, yeah, the new Johnny Storm's gonna be black. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, Spider-Man's half black, half Hispanic in the Ultimate Universe now. Peter Parker's
Oh,
dead.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
there's Miles Morales. I like that they went with a guy with
Also-
the same alliteration and names.
Yeah, Peter Parker,
And-
Miles Morales.
Amen. Yeah.
I like that. Also, no, 2099 Spider-Man was Hispanic too.
Yes, it was Miguel O'Hara. He was Hispanic Irish. Who knew?
That's awesome.
We knew.
That's-
No Dane Cook. No. Yeah. No.
yeah. I
agree.
was just saying, like, the waiting was basically Caddyshack and a Bennigan's. Let's be honest.
Phyllis Pearson writes, we need new comic blood for new funny movies. Agreed. We need to laugh more. Agreed. How about Justin Timberlake? Boom!
Yeah, no, we're getting him.
We love him.
We
We
love
love JT. He's so funny. He's
He
so
is.
funny and talented. He sings songs. He dances. He's comically talented. What a guy.
Yeah, he's a cool
I
dude.
love that guy.
He's a cool dude. Yeah, I'm sure we could, if I had more time to think about it. But I do not. We have 2 minutes left on the show. We'll probably do the after show. Are we doing the after show?
I may have to go, but
Okay. Well, I might stick around for a little bit. I'm pretty awkward by myself, sitting here talking to you guys. But
let's gonna go on a lightning round here.
I have a recommendation for a trailer. It is on Variety. I'll throw up the link here. It is Seth MacFarlane's A Million Ways to Die in the West, and I want to do more research on this, but as far as I can tell from everything that I've seen, this movie was released as a book. Seth MacFarlane wrote the screenplay and then released it as a novel. Probably reworked it for a novel, and it did really well. So they were like, let's make a movie out of it. Oh, God, I ran out of anger. I ran out of anger. This episode of the live show
It's a dry well. It's a drying well now.
That's dumb, but
I'm gonna backtrack it just a touch. Here's the thing. You know who would be great? Who I think would be a great substitute for Rodney Dangerfield in this one?
Who?
It's a little outside of type. Who? But Jimmy Fallon.
Really?
Yeah, get Jimmy Fallon as the kind of like a little bit older than everyone else, kind of like a successful businessman who doesn't fit in with all these stuffy country club guys.
Wow.
Wasn't that like a prescient fucking like cast right there?
That's good.
Hats
That's
off
good.
to
I like
me. Hats off
That's
to this guy.
creative. I like it.
Okay.
But yeah, basically it's called A Million Ways to Die in the West. It stars Seth MacFarlane. He was the voice of the teddy bear in Ted. That was a good one. If you like Ted, you will probably like this one. But there's a Red Band trailer in Variety. I just put up the link. Check it out. It's fucking hilarious. We're running out of time here, so let's touch on like one more thing. What do you got left here? That's dumb. This is dumb. There's a new Flintstones movie in the works, I guess. Who cares?
And apparently they're still talking about making the Preacher TV show, which are going to
Wait, who's writing that? Evan? Keep going down.
I read it earlier again.
Evan Goldberg.
Evan Goldberg.
He was one of the co-writers of. Why am I forgetting everything tonight?
Because you've burnt yourself out on Rage.
All the Rage burned my memory out. He co-wrote This Is the End, and the one before that with,
The Green Hornet?
No, god damn it. It was the first movie that Seth Rogen had written that was put up on the screen. It was really big at the time.
Superbad?
Yes, Superbad. It was Superbad. Did I say that? Oh, okay. Yeah, and Pineapple Express. So they're writing the Preacher series. If you're not
Which
familiar,
is weird.
That is weird, but I feel like they'll probably do. They are nerdy enough to. It's dark. There's not a lot of comedy in it.
Well, I remember there being a lot of comedy, but it's mostly dark.
It's
comedy.
really dark comedy. So they'll probably pull it off really well.
Yeah, it'd be something.
I'm interested to see that. But yeah, so
we'll
there's gonna be, and that's a TV show, right? Preacher
Yes,
TV
sir.
show.
It's gonna be a Preacher TV show.
So that should be good. So
Okay.
That pretty much wraps it up. I guess we're gonna wait a minute so that we don't cut you off.
Right. We're gonna do our thing. Let's see. Yep. No. Neither of us have read Transmetropolitan.
I
Yeah.
really haven't.
So.
I haven't read. To be fair though, I think the last thing that I read was This Book Is Full of Spiders, and that was like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
No. That's not true. I read that book that Patrick gave us.
Awoken. Yes.
But I don't count that because it was
So
kind of
we're gonna call it at that. Jake's gonna sit here for a minute and talk with everyone, and then we're gonna sign off. But for Jake and Trev review everything, I'm Trev.
No, I'm Jake.
And for the live show, that's us. Have a good night.
Have a good night. So we're gonna wait here. If you catch this afterwards, disregard it.
Should we stop the recording?
No, not yet, because it'll cut us off into black.
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely.
Even okay.
Give it like a couple more seconds here. Just real quick. Okay, we're gonna try it now. Well,